Deploying FastMCP under custom path prefixes requires careful coordination between OAuth discovery endpoints and operational routes. Get it wrong, and you'll break both authentication and API access. We'll demonstrate the correct way to split issuer URL for root-level OAuth discovery from base URL for prefixed operational routes, why mixing mount prefixes in both creates broken /API/API/MCP paths, and how Starlette's mount system expects these to be configured. You'll see the official pattern that keeps discovery metadata at root while properly scoping MCP endpoints under your chosen prefix. Base URL, http://localhost 8000/API. MCP path, /API/MCP. Hash result, /API/API/MCP, double-prefix. This demonstrates the OAuth-compliant path mounting pattern for HTTP services, where URL composition must satisfy both routing requirements and OAuth discovery specifications. The pattern separates root-level discovery endpoints from prefixed operational routes, with each serving distinct purposes in the authentication flow. What makes this distinctive is the requirement to maintain RFC-compliant discovery paths while allowing flexible deployment under arbitrary prefixes. The pattern works through explicit configuration of 3 URL components: issuer URL for root-level discovery endpoints, base URL for the mount prefix, and MCP path for the internal endpoint. When mounting under prefixes, the issuer URL remains at root level, e.g., http://localhost 8000, while base URL includes the prefix, e.g., http://localhost 8000/API, with MCP path providing the final segment, e.g., /MCP. This composition ensures OAuth metadata remains accessible at standard locations like well-known, while operational endpoints follow the deployment's routing structure. The key principle is maintaining clean separation between discovery requirements and deployment flexibility. This approach matters because it resolves the conflict between OAuth's root-level discovery requirements and real-world deployment needs for path prefixes. Without this pattern, mounted services would either break OAuth flows or require code changes for different deployment scenarios. The solution enables clean integration into existing applications while maintaining compliance with OAuth specifications. The trade-off is the need for explicit configuration of all 3 URL components, but this prevents the silent failures that occur when paths are improperly composed. Let's break it down line by line. Base URL, http://localhost 8000/API. Defines the mount prefix for operational API routes, following Starlette's routing convention. According to OAuth 2 requirements, discovery endpoints must remain at root level while operational routes can be prefixed. This base URL handles the latter case. The critical constraint: this prefix must not be duplicated in individual route paths. Official docs specify the correct pattern as issuer URL equals http://localhost 8000 for discovery and base URL equals http://localhost 8000/API for prefixed routes, ensuring well-known endpoints like well-known/OpenID configuration remain accessible at root. MCP path /API/MCP. This defines the MCP endpoint path, but violates the OAuth specification requirement that discovery endpoints must remain at root level while operational routes can be prefixed. When combined with base URL equals http://localhost 8000/API, the leading slash creates /API/API/MCP, a duplicate mount prefix that breaks Starlette's routing. The correct pattern from official docs is a Python base URL http://localhost 8000/API hash contains only mount prefix. MCP path /MCP hash no duplicate prefix. Hash result /API/MCP correct. Remember, well-known roots must be explicitly mounted at root level when using path prefixes. Hash result /API/API/MCP double prefix. This violates OAuth 2 discovery requirements. The base URL should contain only the mount prefix, while issuer URL handles root-level endpoints. But here both include /API. Starlette's mount mechanism combines paths literally, creating /API/API/MCP instead of the required /API/MCP. Always configure as issuer URL equals HTTP //localhost 8000. Base URL equals HTTP //localhost 8000/API, with MCP path equals /MCP to maintain compliant discovery endpoints at root while prefixing operational roots. Path prefix composition in FastMCP. OAuth specifications mandate discovery endpoints at root level while allowing operational roots under prefixes, requiring explicit separation between issuer URL and base URL configurations. Including the mount prefix in both base URL and MCP path creates silent double-prefixed roots like /API/API/MCP that break all endpoint resolution without obvious errors. Always validate your mounted paths match the intended structure by checking the actual composed URLs against the official pattern. Issuer URL equals root URL and base URL equals F root URL mount prefix.
The root that serves two masters becomes invisible to both.